Hello, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And right now, I am continuing to work on my teaser trailer. For right now, at least, I'm at the coloring stage. I had finished up the arms a bit more off screen, so now I just want to look and see how far I've gotten with them. Yeah, my past stream, the stream I did before, it had cut off early. I think my Wi-Fi had disconnected, and yeah, I kind of just had to finish recording off screen, and because it was a school assignment, I just decided, you know what, okay, let me just record it off screen. Let me just not post it on YouTube, and then I'll just have another stream in the future. So yeah, that's what I did. Um, so right now I'm actually working on coloring the arms for my teaser trailer. I'm still on scene one actually. Um, the funny thing is that scene four, it's more or less done. All I really have to do is just color scene four. Scene two and three, now those are big scenes. I haven't even put my final line art down on them yet. Like, that's how big they are. I forgot to have this selected. If you're working on an animation, make sure you have the scene you're working on selected. I mean, you should be doing that right off the rip, but when you're in your sort of flow, it's just a bad habit to continue working and not really think much about it. But it's okay. The um that's why Control C exists. Yeah, that is why Control Z exists. So you can just go back and undo any mistakes you make. Just making sure I clean this up a little bit. So I guess while I'm working on this, maybe I can talk a little bit about the character and the world. So, as you guys may know in my previous stream and in my announcement, Witches 13 is a revenge story that takes place a few years in the future. It is a science fantasy, so it blends science and magic, and it follows a post apocalyptic event which reintroduces magic to the world. So the main character, his name is Ayo, Ayo. He is a scientist, and he is one of the first children born who was born in that 1980 to 2001 time gap where people were living in bunkers or they were getting ready to move to bunkers. He became a scientist while he was hiding away, and he he was experimented on. Actually, he was the one to discover ethos, which is the magical element that gives people their magic. So for his design, he actually has an older design, and if you look on my Instagram, you can see some old art of him that I did like a few years ago. Well, not even like a few years ago, like maybe 2, 3 years ago. It is rather old, but for this series, I wanted to blend Y2K fashion with futuristic sci-fi fashion as well as fantasy. because this is going to be a magical world. I need to have that sense of neo futurism and fantasy. And there aren't many shows that blend science and fantasy. There's Arcane, but that's a lot of steampunk. And then there's also um, Dark Crystal. Actually, yeah, Dark Crystal is a good example of science fantasy because it was a movie, and the TV show on Netflix, it does blend a lot of magic and science with it. Though, because of the way it blends magic and science, because it's a fantasy race and not humanoids, it's kind of hard to, well, base humanoid designs and characters off of the individuals in the show. Because the show takes place like right in the beginning of the Y2K era of fashion, I wanted to go with a more, how do I put this? Y2K fashion can be described as very revealing clothing as well as comfort wear. Like you will have bits of skin exposed. There will be tight fitting or form fitting clothes or pieces of fabric on you, as well as areas where fabric and clothing is looser. And I wanted to go with something like that because of the time period. The characters are in that Y2K era of fashion. I also looked at, I also want to say that I kind of looked at Cyberpunk. I am actually I'm a decent Cyberpunk fan. I really love it. I really enjoy it. So I kind of took it as my chance to, incorporate some Cyberpunk into my show. Um, with Cyberpunk, you have a lot of hexagonal and it's very shape based. You have a lot of shapes with Cyberpunk and cyberware fashion. And then I actually looked at fantasy clothing, and those clothes have free moving fabrics, which I also chose to work with. So, with my show, you're going to see areas in the characters' bodies where there are some areas where their clothes are tight fitting, and in other areas, they have some loose fitting clothes. And it's all intentional to sell the theme of the world, which is this more neo, more fashion forward era. And I'm just gonna be honest. It's kind of hard to make a fashion. It's kind of hard to make clothes and designs for characters because there's just so much that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into making a living, breathing world for the characters that you want to bring to life. And it is fun, and it actually has been very fun, and I've certainly enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. How many people can say that they're working on a show, especially at their skill level, or at their age? Like, I don't think many people can say that. So, best to not complain about it. Yeah, sorry if this looks ugly or if this looks, shoddily done. The thing with animation is It's not to cut corners, but it's to be, how do I put this? Realistic. Because you can't spend every single day trying to make sure that it's perfect. Like you have to. Oh, excuse me. Didn't mean to sneeze into the mic. I actually tried to move the mic aside. So the thing with animation is you can't design everything like it's a pretty picture because things like the hair and other articles of clothing are going to be behind the character, you can afford being, a little bit lax with it. Yeah, you can afford to be a little bit lax with it, if only just a little bit, just to get the design and the art forward. Because you do have time constraints, and you are gonna have time constraints for your project. You just can't spend hours or days just to make something look good. And it's not because you want your animation to look like crap. It's actually a time saver. So even if this does look kind of bad, that you're seeing the ugly, behind the scenes, so to speak, really it's just to save time and to ensure that this project that I'm working on gets done in a timely manner. So anyway, I am actually happy to announce that I am graduating. Yes, I'm graduating in May. May the 5th, actually. No, May the 6th. Yeah, it's May the 6th. My graduation day is May the 6th. And then the next day, when we go home, after going to Greenville, we are going to be having a get together of family. And yeah, I'm actually really glad. I'm really happy to be graduating. I still do have some assignments that I need to complete over the summer, but they said, hey, we're not having a summer graduation ceremony. So just, you get to walk with the spring kids, but you still have summer courses to complete, which I'm not really mad about. I only have like 3 courses, and they're not gonna be hard. Like, I'm gonna be hyped on like just my happiness to graduate and to finally get out of there. But I don't regret going to college. I actually really loved college. It was fun, and I met some very interesting and some very nice people. Honestly, if you have the option to go to college, just go. Just go. Go to college. Enjoy it. You'll love it. It's honestly amazing. If anything, go to college just to get away from your parents for a little while. And I know that sounds horrible or it sounds a little mean, but it's the truth. Sometimes you and your parents just need some time away from each other. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to want your space or to just want some time away from your parents. I mean, cuz you've been living with those people for what? 18 years, 17 years. Like you might as well just have your time for self-discovery and to get out there. Make YouTube videos of your college experience or something. I kind of wish I started YouTube earlier, but hey, you live and you learn. I actually didn't notice that the line art was this bad and jumpy. I mean, even though you are gonna have time constraints, if your line art looks pretty bad, then you might want to touch it up in some places just because, yeah, presentation still is important. And even though I talk about time constraints, I'm not saying to just throw a caution to the wind and produce shit. Like, you should not be producing bad stuff. But if you know that what you have is good, then don't be afraid to move on to the next thing. But right here, like with my line art, I just want to like erase some of it and touch it up a little bit because presentation does matter, and there are going to be those more who finally look at the work you produce. There are going to be those who look at your work for the story or the lore, and then there are going to be those who are going to accurately try to assess your skill set and work. And so you have to cut that balance of, okay, what do I want to prioritize? What do I want to get done? What can I risk being left out, so to speak? And when you're coloring, I would like to suggest that perhaps you should just operate by color. When you're coloring, it'll be best for you to just do one color, go back, then do another color. Because you might as well just do it while you have your color selected for it. It saves on time, it saves on work and energy. Because you can't keep selecting new colors and then you have to color cue or color code and make sure that the color is correct. Or you have to go to a previous slide, I drop that color, and then re um, re-choose, re-pick the color that was originally selected. I have to say that out of all of the characters I've drawn, I've really enjoyed Ao. Ao is probably my favorite character. I mean, I probably shouldn't have favorites, but Ao is my favorite, and his story is one that I've wanted to tell, express, share with people. And not just his story in particular, but the story of his partners and his co workers as well. The reason why I chose to have magic in this new science forward way is because I want to tell a story about potential. I want to tell a story of what life can be like if we all work together, if we all had the chance to fully realize our greatness. And this story that I'm working on is my chance, is my time to do just that. I mean, honestly, this segment took me this took me maybe 2 weeks to finish the line art for, mainly because I was just working on other projects. I mean, even for my graduation, I'm actually working on a banner for that. And it's been very fun. It's honestly been very fun to just work on it, work towards my dreams, work towards what I want in life. I mean, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have had bad luck with applying to jobs. Like, I'm just going to be honest and truthful. Like, there was this one time in my sophomore year of college, I needed cash to pay for my tuition. So I ended up applying for like 25 jobs. I only ever got one callback. I applied for like 25 jobs. I only got one callback. Out of that one callback, they told me to, train or whatever. It wasn't training. I shouldn't call it training, but it's like they wanted me to stack chairs and tables. Put them out, put them back. Different things like that to see my skill set. And after that, they wanted me to like sign a paper, but they never got back in contact with me. And so like getting an on-campus job was very difficult for me then. So honestly, in many ways, doing YouTube is one of the many eggs in different baskets I have. Like, honestly, if I could give my watchers one piece of advice, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I know you must get told that a lot, but honestly, I mean it. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you have other plans and other things that you either want to do or you can do. Like, don't just apply for jobs on one website, but go to other websites as well. Maybe you're gonna want to, start YouTube or do something else to ensure that you have, other modes of income and other things you can do. Because if that thing fails or if you don't get much callback or much traction, then you always have something else you can go to or rely on. You know what? I forgot the eyebrows. You know, many people forget hands and many people forget, other things when they're animating or drawing. Me, I forget the eyebrows. And I know it's like a crazy thing. Like, how can you forget the eyebrows? Like, that should be the first thing you draw. That should be the first thing that, comes after the hair. But no, I keep forgetting to draw eyebrows. And it's not that, I don't want my character to be emotive. It's more so like, there are other things that I do or that I think of when I make a character. It's like, I just, I feel, I'm feeling kind of called out now. Like, it's not that I don't care about emotion or that I don't care about, the character being taken seriously. It's just, I kind of just don't think about it. Or like, I just have other things on my mind, I guess. And it sort of just escapes me for some reason or another. Like, I just don't think about adding eyebrows, which is honestly crazy and kind of alarming. But hey, what can you do? Let's see here. Hmm. That was not so bad. Now I need to figure out where the hole is in this one. So the thing with Adobe Animate is they use vector-based animation. That means that the animation uses pixels. It uses different degrees and radiuses and other things like that. So it's not gonna be as free as a bitmap like Photoshop or Clip Studio or anything like that. So you have to be very careful with how you choose to color and draw things. And you have to make sure that your lines are connected with each other, at least when you go to color and paste your, and when you go to fill your color. And and sometimes, not all the time, But sometimes Adobe Animate has a bad habit of their brushes swapping. So one second you'll have a normal brush, the next second you might have like a brush stroke that's been turned into a symbol, which can help or hurt you. No, not even help, which can hurt you when you're going to color. Because with Adobe Animate, if you want to color something, you actually need to use the fill tool in order to fill the color rather than brushing by hand like you would with, well, Photoshop. Honestly, this is really fun. I'm really enjoying this. I actually love spending long hours just animating, just working on this. And I do pretty much everything by myself. So like I don't really have anybody to clean up you know, my rough animation. I don't have anyone to in between for me. All of this I'm doing by myself and I'm loving it. Like honestly, I could sit at a desk and do this for hours, maybe even days even. And it's actually kind of crazy because one of the animation professors, he's actually getting fired. Like it's wild. He's getting replaced. Like people were complaining about him being unfair and not doing his job. My friend actually told me about this, that they were replacing him. And that was actually the professor that told me to give up being an animator. Like he legit told me, "Hey, maybe you should just go to another school or maybe animation isn't for you." And honestly, like if you're a professor, if you're any kind of teacher, don't discourage your students. And like I'm not saying that to be spiteful or anything, but like I just genuinely say that like don't discourage your students. I'm actually still taking an an art education class. Like in art education, we learn about how to teach children art. And one of the things that they teach us is to not discourage but to guide. So it's kind of wild that this man, he probably took the same or a very similar course that I took, but he's gonna discourage an art student. And the thing is that he didn't just, reject me. Like, the artists, they kind of rejected a lot of people. Like, I am not the only one. And it's kind of sad that there are so many artists, so many animators who have been told to just quit. And that doesn't really help your confidence. Like as artists, you already deal with a lot of imposter syndrome and like feeling like you don't belong or feeling like you don't fit in with other artists or feeling that other artists are just so much better than you. And then like you're paying tuition and this guy just straight up tells you, "Hey, maybe you should give up." Like that's honestly horrible. I mean, anyone who's had a bad professor and you're very serious about what you want to do, I say do it. I say forget them. You know what you need to do. You know what you want to do. Go out and do it. Take it if you have to. Fight for it and take it. I mean, shit, I'm making a whole series. Like, I don't think many people can say that they're doing that. At least, not many people as young as me. Like, I'm 21. I'll be 22 in August. And I'm already working on a series on a show. Like, how wild is that? If you put your mind to it and if you keep moving past adversity, you'll never know what you can achieve and what you can work towards. I mean, because it's honestly wild and it's still wild to me. Like, it feels kind of crazy that I'm working on my own show. Like, I still haven't. I mean, I've come to terms with it, but at the same time, I kind of haven't because it's just crazy hearing it out loud. And I know I'm not that far. Like, I'm working on the teaser trailer. It's not like I'm working on episodes and you guys are watching me work on episodes. Like, I'm working on the teaser trailer. But you have to start somewhere. Even though I don't have the manpower to work on the teaser trailer yet, I'm doing what I can. I mean, even though I don't have the manpower to work on the pilot yet, I'm doing what I can in my current circumstance, in my current moment. And that's what you have to do. If you have something big you want to accomplish, gauge yourself for what you can do now. Gauge yourself for what you can do immediately. And for me, that is a teaser trailer rather than a pilot. And it's meant to, gauge my competency. It's meant to gauge, my skill set. So then later on, when I actually get down to business and when I start crowdsourcing and crowdfunding, I can say, hey, I have this concept. Here's something for you guys to work with and to think about. Anyway, after I'm done with this, I have to work on my graduation banner. My mom, she actually wants me to draw a piece of art for the banner. And, I'm kind of nervous. I am not going to lie to you guys. I'm kind of nervous about drawing a piece of art for my banner because I need to make sure it looks good. It's going to be my art that's going to be in front of the house, in front of the lawn, for several people in my family to see. And for my graduation party, I just chose for it to be pretty much close family and maybe family friends. Like, I have friends, but like, my friends are either online or they're graduating themselves. So I don't really want to, take away from them. And they're either doing their own thing or they have projects they're working on. And then my family is kind of crazy. And I'm just telling you guys right now, like, my family and my friends are two separate groups of people. Like, I don't really. What I was about to say was going to sound horrible. I don't really have my family near my friends, and I don't really have my friends near my family because, I'm from a Christian family. Like, let that sink in. Like, my family is Christian. And the kind of person I am, I'm just like a chill, go with the flow kind of dude. Like, so those two are not gonna be good mixes. I don't want to fight at my graduation party. So I'm just saying, you know what? I'll just have my friends, not come to this one. I did not mean to do that. Let me zoom in and get in there. I don't know if you could hear that, but I was sipping some coffee. It kind of got a bit cold because I've just been drawing and working on this. I mean, I brewed it before I started the stream, but I usually get in the zone and I'm just zoned out and I'm working on my project. You see, that's what I love and that's what I chase for. That feeling of being zoned out. I mean, not zoned out in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like, just being so focused on your craft and your love for your craft that you can just go hours in silence. Now, obviously, going hours in silence and streaming don't really go well together because viewers and the algorithm likes it when I'm a chatterbox, but I'm not really a chatty person. Now, if we find a topic to talk about, then I'll chat your head off. But, like, just me and my element, I'm not very talkative. I'm too focused on the grind and my love for animation. Honestly, I just love this design I made. It took me a few edits, but I think I finally got it done. Because before, Ao had chaps, which was a bad idea. And I wanted to give him, like, shorts, but then I said, you know what? No. No shorts. Shorts would be kind of weird. But this gives him a very regal and distinguished look. And because of his armbands, because of the sleeves the detached sleeves that he wears on his arms, it gives him his appeal. Like Ao, I designed Ao to be a very attractive character. But I didn't. But just because he's attractive, I didn't want to go the super revealing route that many characters have, and I also didn't want to go the hyper muscular route that male characters usually have. I wanted to go something distinguished and alluring, but still appealing to the viewer and the audience. So that's why he has the skin tight sleeves. He has the sort of like dashiki slash tunic, and then he also has the baggy pants. Because again, this is cyberpunk heavy, and cyberpunk and fantasy clothing, it's very loose fitting and it looks comfortable. So his overall design looks as though he is comfortable, but then at the same time, it has the flowing fabrics of as a fantasy would. So it has this nice mesh of just Y2K fantasy appeal, which is pretty much what I was going for. And many of the characters moving forward, I want them to have that sexual appeal as well. If not, I shouldn't have said sexual. Let me scratch that. Sexual sounds really bad. but he but these characters are meant to look aesthetically pleasing. Like this is the world is very aesthetics heavy. Like this is a world where magic and science exist, so people have the liberty to be liberated and to be free and to do more and want more from themselves and for themselves. Like if you want blue hair, then you just use magic to give yourself blue hair. If you want to have cat ears and a tail, then you can use magic to give yourselves cat ears and a tail. The people in this world are very they're like one step away from being truly aristocratic. That is the best thing I can say. That's the best comparison that I can make. Okay, I'm trying to use the fill to I'm trying to use the fill to fill this segment of Ao's hair, but it is not working for some reason. I'm going to select the layer and then I'm going to look to see where the hole may be. Because this is vector based, things have a habit of disconnecting or not being fully drawn out or recognized. So I have to look again and see where I went wrong. Honestly, I think it is in the ribbon right there in the upper corner. So first let me just deselect this so I don't accidentally. Okay, yeah, I was right. It was in that little corner. I'm almost done with at least the black of the hair. I have 3 more frames to go. So, why give him long hair? It's actually a part of his character story. Essentially, he chose to make his hair long because after he was badly damaged, it was kind of liberating for him to have a new freedom. And the torture from being in another dimension, in being in the void, it kind of warped his mentality, it warped his mind, it warped the way he perceives and handles things. And that's actually why the red ribbon in his hair is going to be important too, because the red ribbon symbolizes control. Right now he is tethered, and should that ribbon come out of his hair, let's just say bad things are going to happen. Okay, looks like there's another hole somewhere in here that I should find and seal. I think I see the two. So anyway, his long hair is symbolism for freedom and a change in his personality. The red ribbon and his red eye is meant to symbolize control. He also has a lot of purple in his design too. The purple on his arms represents the taint that he sustained. And then his magical energy, his magical residue, is going to be a light purple too. You guys haven't had the chance to look at his magical energy. I haven't really gotten the chance to work on scene 3 yet, but wait for it. It's going to be pretty good. Uh-oh. Better. Okay, 2 scenes left, guys. Almost done. when I drew out the hair, I had to use the wave principle in order to get the realistic flow of his hair. So the reason why I have to go back and, redraw some of the lines is because I either drew over some lines or I had to redraw to make sure that when I went back to color, I didn't fill anything out by accident. It doesn't autofill anything that I don't want it to. You guys are seeing the animation process right now. You guys are seeing the ugliness before it looks beautiful. And then when I'm done with this, I'm gonna go through After Effects and render it. Add some more bells and whistles like drop shadow or like dynamic lighting, different things like that. This is my favorite part. Just the method, the process of animating is so much fun. I honestly love it. Like, I could do this for the rest of my life, just animating, just doing this. This is so much fun. I love it. I don't even realize how long I've been recording for, but that just goes to show time really does fly when you're having fun. Shit. So after this is done, the next thing I'm gonna do is color the ribbon, and then I'm going to color his eyes. And then that should be it for the actual character. I am gonna have to color the the bar, the beam that he's holding on to, but I actually didn't know that I forgot to fill this out. Like, this is actually, this is bad. Really bad. Oh, and if you're wondering, I've already done his mouth. I just haven't unlocked it yet. think that is it for the hair. Next is to do the ribbon. Mm. Shit. Don't you just hate it when you overlook something and then turns out bad? Yeah, 'cause I see this right here too. This irks me. I hate when that happens. And I hate it more that I didn't catch on to it before. So I'm just gonna have to redo the whole thing. It's a good thing I copy and pasted the it's a good thing I had copy and pasted the line out before I started coloring. I mean, not copy and pasted it. I had duplicated the line art before I started coloring. And you know, it's a good thing to do that. Here's a tip if you're an animator. Before you color, make sure you duplicate your line art layer. So in case you have instances like this where you accidentally color it wrong, or just in case you want to refine or sharpen your edge when you're in post animation, in After Effects, in your compositing, it's good to have an extra empty copy layer. So then if a mistakes happen, you can easily go back and fix it. Uh, that wasn't supposed to happen. You know, Adobe Animate, it has its glitches and it has its problems from time to time, but I would honestly recommend it over using something like Photoshop. Like Adobe Animate is a software meant for animation. And you know, people can say like, oh, Photoshop animates too, or oh, you can animate strictly in After Effects, but Adobe Animate has all the bells and whistles that you'll need. So I would say, honestly, unless you show mastery or a high aptitude for another software and its method of getting the job done, I highly recommend that you get and you use software that is specifically designed for the function that you are seeking it for. So if you want to edit videos, get Premiere Pro. If you want to animate, get Adobe Animate. If you want to do digital art or edit photos, then get Photoshop. That is not supposed to happen. Ah, I see. That's not supposed to happen either. I wonder how long I've been at it. If you guys are watching right now, tell me how long I've been working on this. You know, I actually started playing Monster Hunter again. I mean, obviously, I don't have much time to really get into it, but I love Monster Hunter World. When I was younger, I actually was kind of afraid to play solo. Whenever I had a hunt or whenever I had to do something, I would always be online and asking someone for help or getting help from somebody else, like on my missions or whatever. But you know, because I don't have PS Plus now, I've mostly been playing offline by myself. And I have actually been playing, what's that game? Dark Souls 2 offline. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm gonna get Elden Ring yet. I kind of want to save up for it in case I need money for like something for college or like art supplies or something like that. I mean, I've just been taking my days, one day at a time. Like I'm slowly working towards what I want. I mean, I don't really have time for many video games. I've actually mostly been watching Netflix. Like I've been watching Sweet Home. I've been watching Kingdom. I've rewatched Arcane 3 times now. I've rewatched Dota Dragon's Blood like maybe 3 times now. No, I've been rewatch. No, I rewatched it twice, and I think I'm going to rewatch it again. Like, yeah, I'll rewatch it for like a third time. It's actually a really good show, and I like it. Like, okay, I don't think that Dragon's Blood is better than Arcane. Arcane is like a hallmark of Western animation. Like, I genuinely think that Arcane and Dragon's Blood, they have the potential to make people take animation seriously in the West. Like they are that good. But I do think that Dragon's Blood needs a bit more love because it is a good show. Yeah, Dragon's Blood is a really good show. I kind of wish that they. Okay, I am a sucker for magic. Okay, I am a sucker for magic. Like I love my favorite class in D&D is wizard. I like to flavor my spells. And when I say this, I'm just saying it out there. Like, I think that Dragon's Blood should focus a bit more on magic, if only just a little bit. If only just a little bit. Because, like, when I see fantasy, I look at it for the magic. Magic is awesome. Magic is, like, really cool. I also watched The Legend of Vox Machina when it came out, and it's actually a really good show. Like, I enjoyed it. Didn't mean to do that. forgot this segment of the hair. Let's see here. I think it's... No, not that. Oop. Now let's see here. Yes. Now, where is the blemish in here? Let's see. I think it's here. So first let me do that right there. And I think I saw another space. I'll just fill this in over here. Eyedropper, fill. Ah, yes. Done. You see, that's what I forgot to add. Let me go back here. And yeah, I'm going to fill in his hair in the back because that just looks wonky and horrible. You see, I thought I added it. I honestly thought that I added. Anyway, I wonder how long I've been animating for. I have not been paying attention. But anyway, yeah, this has been really fun. Let me check my time just to be safe. Ooh, wow, an hour and 41 minutes. That sure is a long time to be animating for, at least for me. Like, I usually animate and I want to say 1 hour, an hour, 10 minute segments, and then, like, I'll take a break, then I'll come back to it. The thing with animation is it can get monotonous, and I don't say that to say I don't like animating. I mainly say that to say you're gonna be sitting for hours trying to, get a segment of animation done. And animation takes months, if not years. This whole project, it's taken me maybe 2, 3 months just to get this far. And I've enjoyed it. I still have more work to do. I have the background elements to do. I have compositing that's going to come towards the end. I still haven't found some sounds. I need to get some sounds for this animation. Yeah, this is going to take a while, but I think this would be an amazing graduation present to myself to get this teaser trailer done, then start crowdfunding and crowdsourcing, maybe getting a team together. And I have given it some thought. I do think I'm going to tell some of my old college friends about this project and try to get them involved because I've actually kept up with some of their work. They are some amazing animators. They're amazing animators, they're amazing concept artists, they're amazing asset designers and asset creators. They're probably doing their own work and they're probably doing their own jobs, but who knows, maybe I could get them to work with me. Which is why crowdfunding is important because I don't have any money. Yes, up to this point, I've been doing everything on my own. Like, most of the money I have has been my student loan money and my grant money, which is mainly just for school expenses, like Adobe, like the Adobe Creative Commons, that is a school expense. I bought a new laptop, which it's a cheap laptop. Like compared to laptops that are like $1,000 and $2,000, this is a cheap laptop. It's a Dell Inspiron 5,000, and I got this one for around $500. That was another school expense. Then I've been paying for my textbooks. You know, textbooks are worth more than they should be. Textbooks are, personally, this is my personal opinion. I think that textbooks are a money grab and a money scheme. Which is funny because even other professors say, hey, maybe you shouldn't get the textbook, or like, hey, I have presentations and I have, and people will say, hey, I have presentations, I have Word documents, just look at those, your notes are going to be in there. Like, there are even some professors that don't want you to buy textbooks. You're buying textbooks for like $100, $200, like, and even on check. Chegg is a lifesaver. Chegg is a godsend. Not only that, but depending on how many books you buy or like the price of the books, Chegg will give you coupons to like DoorDash, Grubhub, different things like that. Like I have a bunch. Now I'm really exposing myself, and now I'm really calling myself out. Like I have a bunch of check coupons from the old textbooks I bought. Like there's just a stack of coupons for like Zoolily. I have a DoorDash coupon. I have other coupons. It's literally just sitting like on my TV stand. Honestly, if you have to buy books, do not go to your school's bookstore or to your school's student store. Honestly, honestly, if you need books, go to Chegg. That is the best recommendation I can give you. Go to Chegg for your school books. What other advice I can give you? Um, if you can't get an online, if you can't get an on-campus job, then just shit. If you can't get an on-campus job, then try to look for jobs around the area that are within walking distance. Because I'm telling you right now, campus parking passes are expensive. They are super, super expensive. Like, just, mm, like, parking passes for my school, they cost like around 100 to $300, and there are a limited number of permits and tickets. So like once they're gone. Like you have people sitting there the day of just to buy a ticket, and it's honestly horrible. That's all I can say about it. Um, for your first year of college, if you go to college, um, I would highly recommend living on campus just to get a feel for it. If you want to get an apartment later, if you found some friends and you want to live with them for a little while, then you can definitely do that. But at least for your first year, even though it's different per college, like some colleges require you to live your first year on campus. Other colleges really don't, but I would honestly recommend that for your first year of college, just have that nice on campus experience. Walk to the mess hall for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Find some friends to talk to. Um, I would say also network early. And one of the weaknesses I had is because When I was just starting out, I felt like networking was just using people. Just get that out of your mind off the bat. Go to campus events, like start up a conversation with people, and it doesn't even have to be straight to business. If you're watching someone and you see that they're wearing a shirt or they're, taking notes or little things about them, like ask them about their little things and then build a rapport with them. Like networking is a lot like making friends. And not just school events, but even your classmates. You don't even know what your classmates are doing. Like I have a classmate right now who he is working on a big programming project. He is working on a big programming project, and he even said like, "Hey, we're always looking for new members and new workers. Like, email me." And that's how he sent me a Discord link. And now I'm working with a project, and I'm working on a project with some people. And you can really network with anybody. Like even if you're on your campuses, like I don't know, D&D club, or you talk to your roommate and your roommate's friends, and they invited you to an event, just drum up conversation with people. Like, and it can be general. It can be about anything. Because the thing about networking is you're literally just making friends or you're making acquaintances, and then you are asking those friends and acquaintances for work or to recommend you to other people. And don't just do your assigned schoolwork. Honestly, yes, you need to be graded, you need grades to pass college, but don't limit yourself to only working on your schoolwork. Do other things around, like start a YouTube or post regularly on Twitter and Instagram. Like, and then because you're already doing school projects, that gives you a base to work on, so you can start with sharing your school projects to your Instagram or YouTube, but then in between those projects work on your own personal projects, like a piece of art or a portrait. It also helps you put the skills you're learning to use, which is really good. um don't be afraid to start projects, and don't be afraid to take a leap of faith. That's another piece of advice I can give you guys. Honestly, just enjoy college. Just enjoy college for what it's worth. Because college is going to be 4 years. You know, on average, it's 4 years. If you're going for your graduate, you're going to be there for an extra 2 or 3 years. If you're there for your doctorate, then you're going to be spending like a portion of your life at college. But essentially, what I mean is enjoy the time you have in college. And who knows, maybe you're not a college minded person, but I personally feel that college is a good it's a good gateway into adulthood. If you don't want to go to college, then I don't blame you. Do what you want to do. And I'm not saying this to like push you to reconsider. Just all in all, do what you feel would be best for you. If you think that college is a good way to start with art or animation or anything in the creative field, then by all means pursue college. If you don't think college is good for animation and art and creative in the creative field, then don't go to college. But if you have an opportunity, then seize it. Like that is actually the one lesson from my middle school science teacher that I have always taken to heart. Whenever an opportunity presents itself, make sure you take it. And that's pretty much what I've done. I've always taken opportunities whenever I can. Like, I've gone to workshops, I've gone to artist meet and greets, I've gone to museums, I've talked to a bunch of, I wouldn't say I talked to them, but I did go to like seminars and expos where I saw other artists and their work. And because I went to expos, because I went to inspirational talks and different things like that, it has allowed me to change the way I perceive the world around me. College really is a place of learning. College really is a place of new ideals because you learn so much more about the world around you and yourself. College is just an opportunity, and I enjoyed my time in college. And keep in mind, I am not looking at it through rose tinted glasses. Like one of my earliest, one of the worst things that happened to me in college is that I got caught out in the rain. I had walked with some dorm mates, some people in my dorm, to the college football game. We kept getting rain warnings, so we would go out, go back in, go out, go back in. And then I'm just talking to my RA. I'm like, okay, well, obviously, either the game is gonna be really late or there's not gonna be a game. So I'm just gonna walk back to my dorm. Next thing I know, as soon as I leave the stadium, it just starts pouring down and raining, and all I had was like a small, like, windbreaker jacket on me, and I was completely soaked in rain. My phone got waterlogged. Like I'm calling campus police. I'm calling um I'm calling campus police. I'm calling 911 itself. I'm calling Safe Ride. Safe Ride said that they don't provide car rides from the from the from the not the auditorium, from the stadium. So I had to walk into like some kind of uh I had to walk into like some kind of back neighborhood just to get back to my dorm. But I got lost through there and I tried to use GPS on my phone, but the rain kept getting on my phone and I couldn't swipe my phone because it was too wet. And then freaking I freaking cried. I cried to 911 saying I'm lost. The operator thought I was a woman. It was just horrible. I somehow, by the grace of God, was able to get back to the stadium. I called my roommate and I said, "Hey, can you please pick me up? I'm in the stadium." And my roommate, he was awesome. He drove, he got to his car. He drove from our dorm to the stadium just to come pick me up. He is a true one. He's a real one. But yeah, after that, I decided to never go to another game on campus, which is really sad. But I did go to a couple games with my mom, and the next time I went to a game, I made sure that I went with friends. I didn't go by myself. You know, you're safer in numbers. Lord, that is an event that has shaped me forever. Like I'll tell my kids that. You know, if I have kids, I'll tell my kids that story. I'll bring that story up in parties. You know, I have other memories of college too. Like I remember working. I was working with my. He would have been my junior year roommate, but essentially I was in the workroom with him. Like I was in the study hall with him, and I was just sitting down talking with him. He was working on some art, and then I was working on some art too on our laptops, and we just chat and we talked for a little while. And you know, it was chill and it was nice. And then another time, I was playing D&D with some dorm mates, and then another time I was playing Catan. Is it Catan? Yeah, I was playing. Essentially, it's this board game where you have to settle an area and you have crops and resources, and you spend crops and resources to either buy land or buy territory or make sure you have control of an area. Um, I remember hash brown day. Like every Friday morning, the mess hall would have hash browns, and I would just love eating them. I remember eating with my friends. I remember walking to class. There was this other time. I was coming back from the. I was coming back from my astrology class. It was the lab that was like late at night, and I was walking past the quad, past the fountain, and then there was just this wall of rain. And keep in mind, I looked at my phone. We weren't supposed to get rain that day. But essentially, I just visibly saw this wall of rain coming straight towards me. I pulled out my jacket and I just covered myself. And I was walking back to my dorm through the rain. I remember walking to and from the rec center with my friends. Like my friends tried to get me to exercise more, and I exercised practically daily. Like I would do weighted exercise. I would do bench presses. I would then do core workouts. Then I would go upstairs to the treadmill and to the bicycle, and I would just do that for like half an hour. I do have good memories of college. Sometimes I would get my swimming trunks and I would just swim in the pool. Like I love swimming. I love to swim. I never swam for like a team or anything. I just love swimming. I just love being in the water. Other things. I remember walking to. I didn't walk to Lowe's. I took the transit bus and I needed wood for a project. So I ended up taking the bus to Lowe's and buying like I think two planks of wood, and then some rods of wood. I remember long hours in the computer lab working on projects. I remember taking my laptop to class and like working on my laptop. Other amazing experiences like that. And it's just, college was an amazing time for me. I remember field day where I would just see like a bunch of people sitting out like on the field, and they would either be in hammocks or they would be on their laptops. I took my own laptop out there and I worked on some schoolwork. There was this other event where people would like leave shoes with notes in them on the field too. There would sometimes we'd have events where food trucks would come and we would like buy samples and eat samples like right in front of the mess hall. Uh, I remember my nights in the library where I would just spend hours in the library working on schoolwork or like reading books. And even when COVID hit, and even when I had to leave campus and help my mom take care of my grandmother, you know, I don't regret it. Like, I don't regret leaving campus and taking care of my grandmother because I was still able to have those college experiences. College was fun. College was amazing. And I loved it. I loved the time that I had to spend on it. Like, I made a lot of friends. I just had this amazing and lovely time. Here I am talking about college when I'm supposed to be finishing up my stream and I'm supposed to be. Uh, anyway, I'm sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I'm not even working on my animation anymore. I'm actually about to leave, get off, and get something to eat, get some lunch. But yeah, this was fun. This was nice. It was just amazing. If you have the chance to experience college, please do. It's so fun. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I'll see you in the next video or in the next stream, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.